Now, since it is the time of Shovavim, we'll also give a few new insights, a few new things, or perhaps reminders in regards to the issues of Tikkun HaBrit. As we've mentioned over the last week, the sages have taught us that during the time, the six week time frame of when we read the book of Exodus, it's called the time of Shovavim, which is a auspicious time to do Teshuva specifically for Tikkun HaBrit. This also is very good to remind all the naysayers you may have, whether it be in your community, or in your classroom, or otherwise, that tell you that Tikkun HaBrit, the issues of wasting seed is not relevant to this generation, like some heretics like to say, because they themselves are sinners. This is a very good reminder for them that if it wasn't relevant to this generation, then how come the sages made sure to enact a specific time frame every single year until Mashiach comes for us to do Teshuva for it? Now, of course, you need to do Teshuva for it throughout the entire year, but the sages who knew a lot more about what happens in Shamayim than we do, knew that this is an auspicious time to do Teshuva for it. The gates of heaven, if you will, are open wider at this time for anyone that needs assistance from heaven to do Tikkun HaBrit, because one of the scariest things that I've ever learned is that came from the Zohar, was that the Zohar Kadosh says in the name of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai that someone that does all types of sins, Hashem will help him do Teshuva. If a person wants to do Teshuva, wants to stop violating Shabbat, wants to stop eating non-kosher, wants to stop doing all types of sins, Hashem will help him. But when it comes to the issues of immorality, when it comes to the issues of wasting seed, promiscuity, and the likes, the Zohar Kadosh says there's no tikkun for this, meaning there's no tshuva for this, meaning we're left alone, we can't fix ourselves? No. What does it mean? It means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu detests, hates this sin of wasting seed, promiscuity, and the likes so much that when someone is sinning this type of sin, Hashem says to do tshuva, you're on your own. Meaning, you can do tshuva, but you have to start by yourself. You have to do it by yourself. Why? It requires serious willpower. It requires serious willpower to overcome this desire, first and foremost. Now you would say, well, this is even more of a reason why I need Hashem's help. This is even more of a reason why I need Hashem to help me. The problem is that if Hashem helped us in this particular sin like He does with other things, it wouldn't really be righteous to the same way as others, simply because it's a measure for measure. When a person is wasting seed, as many Sfarim, the Zohar, the Gemara, the Chachamim, Kavi Yashar, and many others talk about how a person that wastes seed is creating demons. In essence, he's taking souls that were supposed to come to this world, souls that were actually supposed to correct themselves in this world, and he, in essence, makes them hostages of the Satan. So it's to just allow him to relieve himself or free himself from being a prisoner of the Satan, while he created so many other prisoners, is not necessarily such an easy feat, if you will, for Hashem to allow. So it means that a person needs to try a lot harder to overcome this desire. And many times people get confused of what's supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do. And again, this is a time to learn about the topic. This is a time to fix ourselves when it comes to this particular issue. I understand that there are some people that go to the synagogues and do specific prayers. They read Tehillim all day. In some cases, they fast once, twice, 3 times a week in order to do this tikkun. Most people can't really fast for a very long time. A day is already a lot for most people, and if they do it once or twice in 1 week, they're already beat and have a hard time doing it the following week. We're just a much weaker generation, and that's why the sages made sure to have a back door open for us to fix ourselves, to rectify this horrific crime against Hashem, of wasting seed, of immorality, of promiscuity, because this, in essence, is what distinguishes us from the animals. Because the Gemara says, in reality, there's nothing different between us and animals. Surely you can say, yeah, but I speak and the animal doesn't speak. Well, it does speak, just not your language. Well, I eat a specific kind of diet. Well, so does the animal. Well, I get married. Well, so does the animal. Perhaps maybe more than one animal sometimes, and some animals actually only marry one. Point being is, you cannot say that this is what distinguishes you from an animal. Can't say that's what distinguishes you from an animal. Why? Because in reality it doesn't. It doesn't distinguish you from the animal. What distinguishes us from the animals, Rabotai, is how we treat our Kedusha. How we treat our Kedusha, how we treat our holiness, in essence, when it comes to whether we are like horses, where we don't ask for permission whether the other side wants to be with us or not, or whether we're just doing the act just for the sake of pleasure only and really no other reason, or whether we follow the clear instructions from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that detail to us that, yes, although it is pleasant, and for most people, the most important part is not just the pleasure aspect of it. There are other meanings to it. So when a person treats themselves differently than an animal, they will allow themselves to learn that and implement that into their life. But unfortunately today we live in such a world where everyone has gone to the point where they forgot that they're supposed to be different from the animal. And the reason is because we live in a generation, we live in a world that is called Alma de Shikra, the world of lies, where people simply just want to get a fix for whatever they want, whether it be intimacy or it be food or it be drugs or whatever, a certain feeling. People just act that way based on instinct, becoming more and more animalistic. Hence the reason why you have such an immoral world. But the trickiest part is that this immoral world pretends to be much more moral than the world before us, meaning than the previous generations. No other generation has claimed to be as moral as this one. No other generation has claimed, the title to having political correctness for the sake of humanity as much as this one. But yet we actually live in a generation that's more immoral than anyone before us. I can't really necessarily gauge the exact crimes of Sodom and Gomorrah or the generation of the flood versus the one that we have today, but I could surely tell you for sure that whatever we're doing here, they did over there. Whatever they did over there, we're doing here. I'm just not really sure about the quantity. But in reality, the world that we have today is not very different than the generations that Hashem destroyed.